Hello. How do we sound? How is it going? I gotta check the chat on my phone as I don't have my computer. I don't have two monitors right now. But I've got Jimmy with me. We're gonna have a great stream. We're gonna be talking about how we got around 20 million visits on games and Jimmy games. These are meme games. I've talked about these a lot in the recent videos you've probably seen, such as why most Roblox devs quit. That video got nearly 450,000 views, and I talked about how simple games are the key to success. And a lot of people will go and make a complex game, try and make the next jailbreak or something like that, but that's really not the key to success. And we definitely proved it with Jimmy Games. We made the most simple, most weird games possible, and we had some success, and it was pretty insane. So we're going to be talking about kind of our story on this stream, just kind of chilling, answering some questions, and yeah. Jimmy?
What's up, guys? This is Jimmy here. Kind of took a hiatus, but I'm back.
Yes, you are. So I guess what you should do first, is just explain our story in Jimmy Games. We have 126,000 members. We made meme games, and the way that we started it was not it was not a way that we didn't expect it to blow up like it did.
We were just kind of chilling out. It was after school, kind of decided we're going to make a game.
We just had a donation. 25 sec. What the?
That's weird.
That's weird, bro. We're not going to read that out loud. What is that? Anyways, go ahead.
Thank you for the donation. But yeah, anyways, we're just hanging out, and we're just making random stuff, and we just came up with the idea of Sussy Imposter Land. And actually, originally, it was Sussy Baka Land. But
yeah.
YouTube and Roblox got all mad. We had a bunch of Chinese people run at us.
People thought that it was an offensive name or something.
But
I don't know exactly why, so we changed it.
Yeah, so we changed it, and it's here today. It's not doing so well now, but now we have new games. Sussy Imposter Land is forever in the hearts of Jimmy. We won't ever forget it.
Yeah. So yeah, we had 8 million visits on that game. We updated it over time, but we really, as you can see, we started it and we didn't expect it to go anywhere. We made it off of a random meme, and we grew it over time. We improved it over time.
Don't forget it was on the tail end of that meme's popularity too. Just the meme wasn't very popular, and just randomly it became a really big name in Roblox. I was surprised myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, we've had some bumps in the road, but we're here, and we're looking for ideas to make new games. In fact, we're working on a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I recently did a stream with Myro, and that's a project that's kind of connected to Jimmy Games a little bit. We're working on ABR, which is going to be huge. We have a lot of other ideas we're working on too. I'm planning on making some devlogs as well on that, and also some other ideas I'm making. So we got a lot of things in the works, and yeah, so we're gonna be answering your questions and everything in this stream, and just continuing to talk and just chill. And we have 14 viewers right now, but yeah, I saw someone comment earlier. I have 64,000 subs, but 10 viewers. Someone commented that. That's ironic. I don't know if it's the time I'm streaming. I don't know what it is, but if you can like the stream and if you can just share it, that would be great. And we'll continue to stream, and it's going to be great. So, yeah. So, I have a question. What do you think? Because I talk about how the MVP, how a minimum viable product, the absolute bare bones version of your game is what you want to go for. This is what I've looked at, just like in business. This is absolutely true. You have to start with the absolute minimum bare bones version of your product. Same thing applies for development. So I teach this, and the reason why is largely because of Jimmy Games. It showed us how making all those complex projects in the past, like a whole bunch of games I tried to make before, it didn't work out as well as making something incredibly simple.
Small and simple. That's what we started out with, and we weren't even trying. And in less than, what, 20 minutes was it? We had 20 players, and we weren't earning anything until we added stuff that costed money. That's another thing you need to do. A lot of people make that mistake. They don't add anything that costs money.
That's true.
They just make a game, and it gets big, but then they forget to add things that cost money. That's how you make money.
Well, that's true, I guess. And I mean, even like smaller devs, like you think that your game doesn't have any players, but you don't want to add game passes and developer products. Well, thing is, when you add those game passes and developer products, Roblox literally on their documentation, they say that monetizing your game can allow it to reach more players in the algorithm. So really, just by adding game passes and stuff, you're actually adding potential for your game to grow. And we absolutely saw that. We, just like Jimmy said, we added game passes, we added developer products, we started improving the game from our original minimum viable product, and over time it went ahead and grew. And we saw that each time we improved the monetization, each time we improved something slightly, each time we increased the playtime, that people stay in the game. We saw it grow. We saw it get more and more visits. And over time, it got to over 8 million visits, millions of Robux made. And I want to tell you what's possible when you have, when you have even when you have a small game, even if you think that your idea is dumb at first, it can blow up.
Any source of a community, any source of popularity, you can blow up. You don't even need to be known to blow up. You just need to make something that has virality to it, or
potential.
That's all you need to do. Don't be making anything that's related to all the big games. Make something unique that, well, has somewhat of a relation to the big games. Not like complete relation, because then they'll be like, well, what's this? This is just a copy. What the frick did you make me? Frickin' noob.
That's true. Yeah. So I did talk about that a lot as well, the USP. Our USP was literally a meme. We did the same thing with all the other games in the group.
Talkies Land, the Baby Land, Poop Land, we made all sorts of things.
Yeah, and every single time, even though they're ridiculous, even though they're some of the most weird games on Roblox, they took off.
They all took off. Some of them had higher peaks, some of them had lower peaks, some of them they had somewhat of a source of success.
Yeah. All right, so we have some questions. He don't got no points. He confuses you with big words. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Well, I appreciate the donation. Okay.
Who's he talking about?
Kickback Politics said, "Hey, Big R." Hi. Med Inc. said, "The GOAT live." Thank you. Smarty, I think it's the time zone. Well, I guess so, but we are at about noon. So noon for my time, which is Pacific Standard Time. And then for Eastern Time, it should be around 2 p.m., something like that. Did I accidentally delete? I think I accidentally blocked somebody out of talking. Yeah, whatever. Okay. How did you start your wisdom channel against the Roblox community? Why did you start giving tips, etc.? That's a good question. I started my channel just about 3 years ago. I was really just messing around. Like, if you see my latest video, I was talking about how the channel started out with me just playing games, making random things, not even really having a single direction. And I just started the channel because I really thought that I could make it to whatever I wanted to grow to. And as you can see, over time, I've grown to over 60,000 subs, and it worked out well. And I guess I just started because, well, I had that goal in mind, and I didn't really expect. What am I saying? If you watch that latest video, you'll see what I mean. not in
I've
my
got
groove.
I've
But
got
okay, Jimmy.
I've got people telling me that your stream has froze.
It has?
Stinky Pinky. He says your stream froze.
Oh no. Let me check.
But yeah, anyways, my stardom to success was, we started off actually with a tower of food, which was nuts. Like, I don't know what we were thinking to make that. Like I said, we're copying something completely with food instead. Tower of Food, Tower of... I don't know, I don't even play that game anymore. Tower of Food, it was stupid. It was supposed to be a meme. Our biggest flop we've ever made was Tower of Food. Our first game ever. And then, I'm like, you know what? Just after 7th grade day, just normal day, I was like, yeah, let's make a game. I'm like, Smarty, let's make a game. Let's put something together. And I don't know, we just randomly made a terrain map that was really good. And then we just threw a bunch of random stuff on it. Like, at first it was all free models. Like, you guys are all right when you say it's all free models at first. And it blew up, but we made our own guns. Like, we were creative with our weapons. And that's one of our main successors in this. That's one reason why we're so popular in this. Your items have to be on point.
You're right. So what he's saying is that when we started Jimmy Games originally, the games we were trying to make were not original. They were not unique. It was Tower of Food versus Tower of Tower of Heck. And the reason why the original games didn't work is because they weren't unique. We didn't add anything that made something new in the market. We didn't innovate at all. And when we started to make these meme games, when we started to make these ridiculous, weird land games, right, we started to take off. The reason why is because they were unique. And every detail should be unique. Like, every single thing. Jimmy was talking about the items. You can really have a USP, unique selling point, in any aspect of your game. And we had some unique ideas that really helped.
We had the TNT from Minecraft, but we ended up, and it would blow up, and it would blow up 15 people if you were in the area. It was stupid, and it would roll like it was a circle, but it was a square. Another funny thing was we had a pistol that had 30 shots in its mag, and it shot like a machine gun at first, and we're like, wow, that's a good pistol. But then we had, you can't have them too out of whack, because then you'd have people telling you need to nerf this. Oh, all right, we'll do that. You always got to follow your fans, but don't follow them too much, because then you'll end up with weird fans. Because I've had some funny experiences with those people.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I don't have specific names. I'm not saying anyone's name.
I see. Well, yeah, I guess I see what you're saying, because people do give a lot of ideas when you run a large community. And you got to be able to choose the right ones, because I remember we had people giving the weirdest ideas. I can't think of a specific one, but when you start getting a large community, you have to really balance what you want with what the players want. And if we had kept adding random ideas, who's knocking at our door? But if we kept adding random ideas from the community, it wasn't gonna work. But yeah, this is just a chill stream so far. As you can see, I wasn't fully prepared.
Yeah.
But
anyways, back to the point. In Jimmy Games, we really blew up off of something out of pocket. Out of pocket. And unusual. We did it at the perfect time too. We did it in 2020, 2021, where we've had this going for four years now. It's gonna be our 4th year actually, coming up in 4 weeks. First year, and everything was kind of weird. Everybody's like, oh, I don't know. It was around the time when everybody's using TikTok. So we're like, let's make a stupid joke out of a TikTok joke. Sussy Baka, you're such a sussy baka. And we're like, all right, let's make Sussy Imposter Land. This is a good idea. We throw it into Roblox and we're like, let's make it completely random at first, which we got a lot of people, but then we're losing players. So then we're like, all right, we got to update. We got to take all the random stuff out, make it more structured. Let's still have the out-of-pocket stuff. And that's when we added the burning house with an explosion, like Sussy imposter guy walking out of it.
I remember that.
That was funny. And then we just kept on building off of these ideas, and our fan base would give us more ideas to build off of. And we came up with Talkie's Land, which it was successful for its first 5 months. It's still sort of successful.
Didn't it peak?
Say.
It peaked at like 50 players.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the games, I would say a lot of them, they peaked at like 50 players, but Poopland reached 700. So
Poopland reached like 800 or 700, and it for some reason though it hasn't made quite as much money as Sussy Imposter Land, which we're so confused about. Like, why do we have so many people playing this game, but we're making more income off of our less popular game? Like Sussy Imposter Land, you look at the stats, it has like what? How much? Like, it made 10 million in 1 year. The most we've made off of a month is actually 6 million in 1 month, but you take taxes out and it's like 3 million. Like, think about it. It's weird. Like, I've never figured this out. Why is Poopland more popular, but we've got this game making more money? And I've always thought, could it be that there's more items that are more cool in this game? And I've just never figured it out. But Poopland is our most successful piece of work, and I don't like saying that a lot because it's poop.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of ridiculous, but as you can see, like, we're just talking about how the weirdest ideas can work, and sometimes they can work the best. And I think with the items and the reason why that game has not made as much is I think that it's a younger audience because of just how weird it is. People will search that up.
Yeah.
They'll find it randomly, and they won't really play it as long as they would play some of the other games, which might be aimed at an older audience. So when you have that younger audience, you probably won't make as much on your game. You probably will notice that your revenue per user, revenue per whatever stat you're looking at the moment, it's going to be lower if you have younger players. We definitely found that with that game. We had a lot of older players on the Sussland game, which was interesting because we noticed that some people would play, and they would play every single day. And these were older players. We had this one dude,
like my friend Kyle Creed.
Yeah.
Oh, he's you look at his hours on that, and it's almost like, what? It's almost 100 days now. It's more than 100 days actually.
Yeah. So we had people playing the game for 100 days, and that's not in 100 days straight. That's 100 days in hours.
Yeah.
So out of this simple game that we improved over time, and that we just pivoted, that we went towards just having something that grew, it reached over 8 million visits, the most random game possible, and it proves that anything can work. And we have people who have played for over 100 days, right?
In fact, shout out to my boy DJ Cook. I love you, bro. We're making games. We're trying to get you we're trying to get a game for you, bruh. He played our game. We had Flamingo play our game. We had forgot his name. He didn't like it.
Creekcraft?
Yeah, Creekcraft.
They all played.
Not too fond of him after he only played my game for 2 seconds and left. Like, he didn't even give it a chance. But hey, still cool that he played. Who else played? We had some other guy play. I forgot his name. But yeah, Flamingo played. In fact, he had Poopland in a video, which was cool. That's like, when you make something that blows up to this level, you can have YouTubers join, play it, and it becomes significantly more popular. Like
That's true.
Poopland makes like we had at one point this month or last month like 600 players, and it just Roblox it got thrown in the algorithm again.
Did it reach 600? I think it was
Yeah,
around.
600 or 400.
Really?
Somewhere
Oh yeah,
around
that
that
was.
number.
Yeah. At some point recently, it did shoot up to 600 or 400.
Yeah.
The algorithm can just shift at any moment. I
Yeah.
noticed this on Twitter too. Like a lot of people on, I mean X, not Twitter.
I
They'll post and their game suddenly blows up to like 1,000 players, and sometimes it catches on. So when that happens, if that happens to you, make sure that you update the game and
Yeah.
improve it.
yeah.
I've seen that happen a lot. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna answer some comments. I know that this stream so far, I'm gonna be honest, it's a little bit rough around the edges because we're just messing around. But I'm gonna start answering some questions. I'm gonna make the stream a lot better. So hit like. We're gonna keep on going, and we're gonna answer some of your questions. So I recently saw Scrollv in the chat. He said that I saw you work with Quick Game. They're scammers. Are you part of that group? No, I'm not part of that group. I tried working with them once for that video where I paid, what was it, 25,000? How much Robux was that? But I paid Robux for them to make a game, and I didn't partner up with them or anything. That's why I said I don't specifically endorse them. I don't know if they're scammers. If they are, you can send me proof on Discord, and I can maybe take that video down. But yeah, thanks for letting me know. Let's see what else we got. We have the Duck Lord said, "Hey Smarty, could I ask another question? I saw that there was a question next. I wanted to ask it. What did you say before that? Yeah, you can ask another question." Skies said, "What do you think is the best type of game to do to become better at scripting and learn the most for you?" I think the best game to make at first is an obby, because when you start, making an obby is just a good way to start making random scripts that give you good practice, such as a kill brick. A kill brick, you learn how to access the humanoid, and you know how to change the health of the humanoid, and you know how to make a good mechanic that's kind of fun to play around with. That's why I teach that in Scripting Secrets. In the intermediate, you learn how to make a obby. It's really good. You also learn that in the beginner guide to Roblox to scripting on the channel. You can learn it there. I teach a little bit about kill bricks, about making an obby, and that's a really good way to start. But when you start progressing, if you want to become better at scripting, because that was your question, you phrased it that way. If you want to become better at scripting, what I would recommend is just moving it up a level. You could make a better obby. You could make a simulator. A simulator is a great step from an obby. And while I haven't made that many simulators, I'm very invested in ABR, which is kind of a form of a simulator. I'm making that with Myro. If you saw the last stream, we actually talked for a long time about our plans for ABR. We're spending literally like millions of Robux on this project. We are hiring some of the best devs that we can find. It's going to be insane. If you want to learn more about that, you can watch the last video on it. I also have a devlog on the channel. But yeah, that's kind of an example of a simulator. A simulator is the reason why devs do it so much is because it is a format that you can replicate a lot of times. So if you try to make a game that is kind of outside the norm, that can be good. But for the more complex ones, it can be really hard to actually release those games, in my experience, because developers that you hire are not going to be as experienced in unique games that haven't been done. So while ABR is a simulator in a way, it also is a unique type of game. And we've actually found that as we've been making this game, as we've been working with different developers, it is a lot more strenuous. It's a lot more. It takes a lot more time and effort to make something that's more unique with these new mechanics like breaking terrain that not many people have really done on Roblox. That was only done by like one other game, and it makes the game take a lot longer to make. So that's actually an interesting point I haven't really brought up before on the channel, is that if you're trying to make something more unique, and you're trying to make something that is outside of those typical templates, you could say, of obby, simulator, the norm, right? It's going to take a lot longer for devs that you hire to work on those projects. And it might even take a lot longer for you because you're figuring things out. You're going on the dev forum, you're going on the Roblox documentation, and there's not that much information on how do you make these unique systems, breaking terrain, doing these punches against terrain, right? That's kind of a unique system that you haven't really seen much on Roblox. And it just shows how there's a lot of things that go into development. So it's really hard to say for your question. I know I went a little off the rails there, but that's a really good point. But you were saying that what do you think is the best game to become better at scripting? Well, I guess go up the ladder from Obby, Simulator. I also had a video where I ranked the best games to make as a beginner. This is called I don't remember the name exactly. I think it was Do This When You Make Your First Roblox Game. I think, yeah, that's the title. If you look at that, you can hear some more info on some of the best games to make when you are starting. And also the video, I've learned scripting, what should I do now? If you look that up. Again, that's when you make your first Roblox game, do this or something like that. And then when you start scripting, I started scripting, what should I do now? Those are the two videos where I talk about like some of the best games to make, some of the best things to do in order to develop your skills as a scripter. It's some of the best advice I've found on that topic, and it's some of the I feel like not that many people talk about it. So it's a really good question, because what do you do when you learn scripting, right? There's not a very clear path. And as you start, you learn the basics, right? You have your foundation, but as you start branching out, you're going to start to find that it's harder to find a specific path unless you know exactly what type of games you want to make. That's why when I started going into more role play games, that's some of the stuff I've been working on, is I was making this game. I'm not sure if I'm going to reveal the name, because it's a really good idea, but we were making this game, right? And I found that you have to go down a specific path as you continue to learn. So I had the basics, I had the intermediate stuff. To learn the advanced stuff, now it branches off. It goes more into everything becomes more separate. You go on your own path as you develop your skills and as you go down a specific genre that you like to make. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that is clear.
Yep.
As you progress as a scripter, it becomes harder to find specific information, especially if you're making those unique games. And yeah, so check those two videos out. But yeah, some interesting insights there. So we have some new messages here. By the way, Merry Christmas, guys, or Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. It's coming up soon.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
So we got 20 million visits in what? We got 20 million visits in Jimmy Games. Jimmy Games is a group with meme games, and I've talked about this in a lot of the recent videos. I'm referencing this because what I believe strongly is that it is a great template for your success. We've shown how if you make something unique, and if you make an MVP, a minimum viable product, and then you test this minimum viable product, you test this bare bones version of your game, and you see how it does, and you see how people react, and then
you build up from it.
Yeah, you pivot, and you, based on what people say, based on how the market responds,
you add more meat to the bone, basically.
Perfect way to phrase it. Add more meat to the bone. Add more features. Add things that help it go in the direction you want it to go. Help it grow. Again, that's a minimum viable product. Test, pivot.
You take your soup and you add carrots and chicken. That's how you do it.
Yeah, interesting way to phrase it, Jimmy. But I agree. So how much have we made from all of this? We have had 6 million plus Robux. That's around 26,000 USD from Jimmy Games.
Yep.
How do we brainstorm and come up with game ideas? The Ocean Otter said. I have a video on this, actually. So for game ideas, I kind of get them randomly now. So since I've been in development for a while, I kind of get these ideas just out of the blue. Like, I came up with this idea. What was it? It was stack infinite things. I don't know. I was just sitting there and I had this idea. I don't even remember when I had that idea. I had it on my notes app on my phone. I was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. So when you're very focused on development, and when you're very focused on your goals in general, in life in general, what your brain is actually going to do is you have this thing called the reticular activating system. This is some psychology. And when you're very focused on a goal, you're actually going to start seeing things related to that goal. I actually just recorded a video on this because it's pretty insane. So I recorded a video on mindset, right? And one of the examples for how this part of your brain works is, have you ever have your parents ever gotten a new car, like a I don't know, let's say what's a cool car? What's a cool car you like?
Lamborghini.
If your parents have happened to get a Lamborghini, which I doubt it, if your parents got like a Ford or something, you probably started seeing that car everywhere. That is the exact same system in play from your brain. It's the reticular activating system, and the same thing happens with your goals. When you're very focused on making a popular Roblox game, when that is the thought in your mind, and you're thinking about that constantly, now your brain is going to start to see things and make connections on its own. It's going to start to make ideas out of the blue. This is the number one thing that I would suggest to anybody who's lacking in game ideas. I do have a video on this, but I didn't mention this because I didn't know nearly as much about mindset and stuff and how this stuff all goes together. It's all connected. If you have a goal in mind, and that's making a good Roblox game, making something unique, well now, and you're actually focused on that, your reticular activating system is going to start looking for that everywhere you go. You'll be looking at a cookbook. I'm looking at a cookbook across the room. I'm thinking right now of ideas. What's one? Chicken cooking simulator. You know?
Chicken with a side of beans and rice.
I think you're just hungry, but
rice burgers.
Rice burgers,
as Johnny would say.
Yeah, that's a branch of Jimmy Games. But yeah, so you just think of, just start with that goal. Activate your reticular activating system. You're gonna start seeing connections more. What's a good way? Well, one way to activate it is to visualize. That's one way to activate that part of your brain. If you start visualizing like having a successful game or your goals, even though it sounds corny, like everyone's probably heard this before, visualize your goals. Well, it's actually, the reason why you hear it so much is because it actually works. You hear this everywhere. You hear visualize your goals, say affirmations. They sound cringe, especially when you do it, but then you actually realize it actually works if you try it for long enough. And you're activating that part of your brain, and you're going to start seeing game ideas everywhere. It doesn't matter what it is. You could be focused on making money, right? Now you're going to start seeing business ideas everywhere you go. Same exact thing. Another example. Shoot, I forgot what I was going to say. But, yeah, so that's an absolutely insane insight. I've never heard anyone in the Roblox space really talk about that. But what's next? We have 17 watching. Thank you guys for going the stream. I know we had a little bit of a rough start. I was like, what do we talk about? But I think we're going good now. So yeah, like up the stream if you are enjoying it. We just hit 19 viewers. So yeah. Hello, Dark Lord Hedgehog. Hey there, Smarty. I've been scripting on Roblox for some time now, and I managed to bank around 100,000 Robux. I'm eyeing up game development next. Any ideas on how to kickstart this journey? Plage said that. So, you're saying that you did commissions, right? Is that what you mean? 100k Robux. That's really good. So congratulations on that. That's a lot better than I did when I first started commissions.
Good job.
Yeah. But yeah, so any tips? Well, I would say check out the video on my channel titled What I'd Do If I Just Started Roblox Development. I think that's like a really underrated video because it gives you like the path. So I'll give you a quick rundown of what I talked about. So I said, basically, choose the skill you want to do. You already have that, the scripting, right? And then start to gradually, I kind of talked about this earlier too, gradually start making systems, right? Start copying systems from games that you like. And then start making them more unique. Then maybe after you make enough systems, now you're going to find that you can make a whole game. Now that you've improved your skills through just making these systems and saving them, maybe now you can actually take those systems and combine them into a whole game. See? So you want to have everything kind of like stair step up. So maybe you're making like a kill brick, and then you're making a spinner, and then you're making a what else? Like a wipeout thingy with a hammer. I don't know, anything. You're making these systems, right? And you're gonna find that you're gonna be able to make like a whole obby out of those. See, so that's a really general example, but when you're making systems as practice, when you start scripting, even just copying things from your favorite games. I talked about this in a lot of my earlier videos on this. You're gonna be able to gradually increase your skills rather than going straight into a game, which I know can be really overwhelming. There's in psychology, there's also another principle, which is commitment and consistency. If you do one action, you're going to be able to go up the ladder to another action, slowly increasing. It's just like, so you want to start with something small. That's how you get your brain into an activity. Start with like a simple system, like a kill brick, and then slowly, gradually move into a full game. I hear something in the background, but we're gonna keep going. So, gradually move into a full game. That's what I recommend. We have a few more things going. The Ocean Otter said, "Thank you for answering my question." You're welcome. Let's see, what else do we got? Ooh. Creeper the Man said, "Smarty, I have a game and I don't have any money to promote it. What should I do?" That's a really good question. If you don't have any money to promote your game, you can kind of do what is his name? Plage said, which is to start with commissions like him. See, you could even hit him up on Discord maybe. Maybe you guys could exchange contacts and talk about this and work on something. But you can start with commissions and then gain Robux, and then you'll be able to fund projects from there. That's what I would do personally. That's what I was trying to do for the longest time. And then Jimmy Games blew up, and now I have the funds to make whatever games we want to make, right? So don't have to make commissions all the time.
Yep, that's exactly why it's good to
I didn't leave the game and freeze the stream. What are you talking about? I'm in the game. Stinky Pinky said that.
That's why it's good to, as
I gotta
was
check.
saying,
The stream is working, I believe. I don't know exactly what.
As I was saying,
I think it's just frozen on your end because I just checked the stream and it's fine. I think. But yeah, maybe you guys can let me know in the chat because Stinky Pinky said that there's an issue. It's been frozen. Well, I don't know. It must be my internet, but if you guys can hear me, that's all that matters, I guess. So, Azan Dev said, "I love your videos. When will you upload more?" Well, I'm actually working on some. I'm probably gonna make more videos with like less editing, kind of like that video on mindset. That video had like, it had a decent amount of views, and it didn't have the strongest editing, but it was actually to prove a point that if you can be disciplined and watch an entire video on mindset, that's a really good step to building a better mindset and development. So I'm kind of thinking of playing off that more, doing slightly less editing because I hire editors to edit my videos because I want them to be the greatest quality possible. I want to give you guys the best experience you can have possibly when you're watching my channel. But, you know, throwing some in between that have a little bit less editing might help me get more content out. So that's but yeah. The Ocean Otter said the stream is working for me. Yeah, I agree because I just checked on my other device here and it looks like it's working just fine and we're at 720p max. That's not too bad. So I don't know. I don't think it's frozen. Let me check for a second. So Jimmy, let's see if there's a question you can answer while I check on this. I'm gonna move my camera and screen. Can you see it moving? Oh, I guess it is frozen, huh? All right, fair enough. I see. My computer just froze. I don't know what the deal is, but it's still working, right?
It shows. Actually, you left the game. Apparently.
I left the game. Oh man, I'm not sure when that happened. But let's see if there's a question you can answer, Jimmy. Roxo Kui said, how about you add more people? Yeah, there's more people I could add. If you have ideas, we can absolutely invite them, or you can tag them, or whatever you'd like.
All right.
Tux said, "Hey Smarty, I'm Tux ET. I just wanted to say that keep doing what you're doing. You inspired me a lot, and I made my own game, and I now have over 76 million visits. Wow, that's insane.
Tux?
Congrats.
Hey, he's in game right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Hey,
add me on Discord. Let's talk about that. Maybe we could chat. That's crazy. That's
Tux.
Great job on that. I'm happy that I could help inspire you, but you did the work.
Let's do business sometime.
Yeah, Jimmy's jumping in on a business deal now. Let's see here. It says I haven't been online in 31 minutes. Okay, I'll fix it in a second. If I'm not too worried about it though. at the moment. Does anyone have a question for Jimmy as I mess with our frozen game situation? Let's see here. Can you give them some ideas on how to get game ideas? Because I talked about the psychology of game ideas. Something
ideas,
no one really knows.
Well, I've been thinking about certain things. Maybe something like.
Well, I'm talking about how do they get game ideas?
How do you get game ideas? Really, it doesn't take a lot. All you got to do is think of something. You got to be looking at what's mostly popping off, and you got to make something that's related to it, somewhat related to it. It can't be full on like that, or else
I would agree with
it's
that.
not gonna blow up. Or you can look on social media.
That's a really good
See
idea.
what's popping off on social media. Take a look at that, and look at what's money hungry.
What's money hungry? Yeah.
Just look at that and be like, oh, could make something related to this. Like, you know how The Rock was blowing up? Just be like, The Rock Land. We already made that. Which actually, that's good. Smarty just joined.
That is a really good point. Look at social media. I didn't even mention that.
Social media, you could look at TikTok. That's how Sussy Imposter came to be, actually.
Yeah.
TikTok.
You never know. Yeah, you never know what's going to blow up. We blew up on the most random games. I talk about this all the time. And now it's allowing us to fund other projects, make some more advanced stuff that we're working on right now, such as ABR, which I talked about on the last stream with Myro. Absolutely insane stuff going on. So yeah, now I'm back in the game, not frozen anymore. Just waiting for everybody to rejoin. Join me. Before it fills up, everyone's gonna fill up the server.
Hold on, I'm joining your game real quick. Yeah. Anyways, other ways to get ideas. You cannot. You can't make anything too random.
Really?
Well,
you made something really random. Are you sure about that?
You can, but it has to be in thought too. You have to think it out a little bit. Like, I was thinking about it while I was making it. Yeah. And I did randomly throw things in, but you have to be thinking about what it's going to be, what it's going to be named. You really just can't throw a bunch of stuff together.
That's true.
Because we saw somebody try and make, I don't know, back when we first started it and it was really blowing up, we had somebody make a Sussy Imposter, no, Sussy Baka Land, actually.
A copy?
It wasn't a copy. It was literally just a bunch of free models thrown on a base plate. There was nothing there. Like, they thought they could copy us. No.
That's true.
It didn't work. They had maybe 3 players when I saw it, and I joined it, and everyone's like, Jimmy, because I need to make more stuff, more content, but I was at one point really popular, and a bunch of people knew me, and I joined, and I had everyone saying, Jimmy, and then I left, and they all left just to follow me. They joined the actual Sussy Imposter Land, and they're like, wow, this is good. Yeah, I would not say that it was the best game. I've seen better LAN games. In fact, there was this one LAN game that was made in 2013. I forgot what it was called. It was called
You want to clarify what a LAN game is?
Yeah, a LAN game is terrain. Like, it's just a big piece of terrain with mountains and lakes, and it doesn't have to be a certain terrain. It just has to have really good terrain. Like, your terrain has to be spectacular, and it has to be structured very well. And then you have to have something that goes with it. Like, you could just, like, think of something. Think of anything, and it works. Like Watermelon Land. I've had that idea before, but then I realized it's not mainstream. It doesn't work. It has to be somewhat mainstream. So, like, Mac and Cheese Land would work. That would work 100%. Like, and then you got Monkey Land, which was too big. It has to be a certain size, but then
somebody was asking about that in the chat on how to make an open world game. I'm not exactly sure. That's a really good point on how the Let me close this chat. It's distracting me. Distracting me. You're talking about headless. I don't have headless. I don't want headless. Anyways.
Waste of money.
Waste of money, guys. But what was I saying?
I forgot.
What was I?
I got somebody texting me.
Oh yeah. So somebody asked about making an open world game. That's a really good question because again, what Jimmy said, we're talking about some of the most ridiculous ideas ever. But it proves a point. How any of your craziest ideas can work, and sometimes the craziest ideas do work the best. But we did learn some lessons even in these ridiculous games, such as Monkeyland.
It was a good idea and it started off well. We just didn't implement the idea perfectly. We made it too big, and we had monkeys that followed you around the map. And yes, there were some funny parts to it, like the monkeys jumping on the bed, and there's multiple beds with monkeys jumping on it. It kept on getting smaller and smaller and smaller. But the problem was like one highlight out of every bad highlight on it.
Yeah.
And we've got someone, I don't know his name, he wants us to rebuild it, but it's like nobody really cares about it anymore. Like there's a point there's a point of no return.
Yeah, and can I add something? Because what I was getting at is that the open world game thing. So it was the largest one that we made in this type of game, and we found that players got really spread out. So to answer your question about making an open world game, I would say be very careful. I also told this to somebody in Scripting Secrets. They were making a game, and it was very large, and it was like an anime game or a fighting game or something like that. And I told them that we found that in an open world game, players get very spread out. You need to have POIs, points of interest. You need to have places where people congregate. I remember this also when I was working on the Ryan's World official Roblox game. The key thing that we had was the developers on the team, the other ones who were the main developers, they were talking about how we need to have POIs. And the main POI in that game was like the Obby Tower. And what made it a POI where people wanted to meet up, even though it was a large map, that POI, it was this tall building with all these obbies in it, right?
Kinda
it was
like
a POI.
Towers.
Yeah, that's also a POI, Tilted Towers in Fortnite. That's a really good example. So when you have these points of interest that stand out, you can actually have players congregate. That's a very key thing. Having players all in one spot. So
Tilted toilets. That's a good idea.
Interesting, dude.
I should use that.
But so in the Ryan's World game, we had that obby area, and a lot of players went there. It was this huge thing, and it stood out. So even though it was a large map, it worked because players saw places to go. And when you can do that, you can make your open world games work a lot better. We found that in Jimmy games, when we made that game, that Monkeyland game, that ridiculous game, when we did that large scale map, when we made that we didn't have any real POIs. We didn't have anywhere for people to congregate. The spawn locations were spread out everywhere. It was ridiculous. But we found that it doesn't work. So
it doesn't.
To answer your question about the open world games, be very careful. And if you're going to do it, I would recommend having it so players can congregate. I told this to somebody in Scripting Secrets, as I said, have places where people congregate. I told them have some PvP arenas, for example, and have them stand out.
Yeah.
So they had like this fighting game. You'd go around fighting NPCs, right? But I told them, Roblox is a social platform. Players need to have places where they can meet up, be all together, and talk and work together on things. So when they can fight each other in a PvP arena, it gives somewhere where people can meet up. So yeah, if you're going to make, I know this is a bit of a long-winded answer, but it's for a reason. If you're going to make a open world game, you need to have clear POIs, and you need to have players still congregate in the main areas. This was an issue with a roleplay game, the one that I was talking about earlier, that I don't want to be too clear on what it is, because it's a really good idea. We're going to release it eventually, but one of the issues was we didn't have POIs. So we were going to redo the map, right? We built this whole game, all complex, but we didn't have key POIs. We had the city, we had the neighborhoods, but it's all spread out.
Yeah.
So when you don't have POIs, when you don't have a place, when you don't have a place to congregate, it doesn't work.
They want to travel to the next area. We had cars that moved really fast, but they weren't controllable. They're too fast, and there's too much. And there's a point where it's too much and where it's too little. And where it's good to start with too little, because then you got bare bones and you can build off of it, but when you have too much, there's too much on it. There's just, you can't do much with it anymore. It's kind of like Joe Mama Land, where we literally, it's just a copy and paste of Sussy Imposter Land, but with too much in it.
But it did have a center. So the reason why that game worked was because we had the center of the map, and people would just fight in there. They jump up and down in the little evil lair or whatever it was, and that worked out well. So
Stairway to Heaven, Stairway to Hell,
But we had POIs, so it proved the point. Which, all in all, POIs, if you're going to make a large game with a large map, have some key POIs, points of interest, that really, really stand out, and a place for players to congregate, for them to meet up. Because the number one thing about Roblox is that it's a social platform. I talk about this a lot, a lot of my videos, and a lot on Scripting Secrets as well. Roblox is a social platform. That means that when players are able to talk, when players are able to hang out, when players are able to play together, when you make that one of the key things, that's why Brookhaven's so popular. It's so good for social. When you make that the key thing, people are going to play your game for so long. That's why Jimmy games worked, because not just because of the wacky ideas, but the reason why it's so weird and so crazy and can be maybe considered not the greatest games on Roblox at times, compared to like some of the most insanely detailed, crazy graphics games on Roblox. The reason why it was popular over those is because, well, it's social. People are able to jump in, shoot guns, and just have fun and just play around and get admin, do whatever they want.
It's a goofball game for hanging out, and
the social made it pop off.
Yeah, you just basically talk with people, hang out, shoot people, do stupid stuff, and if you're asking, have we found any ODers? Yes, we found ODers.
Let's not go there.
It's not good.
We banned them.
That's you'll run into those. One time, this guy, I don't know if I should be talking about this, but this guy.
If it's too bad, don't say it.
This guy somehow got control of B tools, and
Did he mess it up?
He started building weird items in the game.
Okay, let's not. I think I might remember that.
So we deleted him permanently.
Interesting, yeah. Hey guys, this is going great so far. We're just talking about some insights from Jimmy Games, how we got 20 million visits. If you're just jumping in, that's great. We have 15 viewers currently. That's great. But if you like the stream and share, we can go ahead and grow, and we can answer more of your questions. We're going to keep improving the stream as we go. It's going great so far. I'm enjoying it. But yeah, keep the questions coming. We can answer whatever you'd like. And yeah.
Another area of ideas where I get many ideas is Club Iris. And
Iris, yeah.
I know. I hate that place. That place is terrible. You'll find the most out-of-pocket things. Their developers are not smart. And I don't mean to throw shade at Club Iris developers, but are you kidding me? You're going to add a hotel that costs money, which it's smart for earning money, but then again, you're going to have people who are mad at you.
Bro, are you trying to start beef with developers?
I've always had beef with them. They're goofy. Like, we're going to make a bottle of water cost 5 Robux. What are you talking about? It's so dumb. And yes, they've got smart ideas. Like, the one thing that I will say that is smart is the VIP booth area. That's the smartest thing they've done.
VIP booth?
Yeah.
Can you explain more how that works?
You go in there, you pay for it. It's too expensive, first of all. It's 300 Robux. You go up this staircase, and you got, 6 booths over the tops on looking out on the normal booths, and just talk to people. But then you got to be careful when you're in there. I'm telling you, I found some weird things. This one dude dressed up as Patrick scarred my brain. That wasn't good. Oh!
Don't go too far on what you've seen in Club Iris.
I forgot.
We don't need my stream yet.
I was hanging out with I'm not talking about anything. Harold.
Harold?
We're chilling in Club Iris one time. That was fun. But he's kind of dumb. Don't try and talk to him for too long. He gets a little wild. He's like,
Someone asked what you're waffling about.
what I'm waffling about? I'm just hungry.
Yeah.
Jimmy gets hungry and he starts talking about stuff.
He's talking about Club Iris.
Point of the thing is Club Iris. You can get good ideas from Club Iris. It's because
That's a good point.
You got people that go there. Lots of people. People from every group goes to Club Iris. You got ODers. You got people. You got developers that go there.
Slenders.
Such as me. You got Slenders, which they probably fit under the ODer category. But you got normal people, ODers. You got kids. You got, which isn't good that kids go in there. But you got people like Smarty. You got people like Flamingo.
You got people like there. Jimmy.
You got people like me.
That's an interesting place.
You can earn ideas from those people, and by the way they act, you can make a game off of it. That's
a really good point. I want to say Jimmy, he's messing around a bit here, but there is a serious point here. Club Iris is kind of it is a weird what's a good word for that?
It's a weird
amalgamation of different groups on interesting groups on Roblox. And what he's saying is that some of the weirdest ideas come from this weird diversity in Club Iris. All these weird characters, all the different people across Roblox, whether that's large developers, Slenders, or Jimmy even hopping in there. You get those interesting characters all combined. And yeah, it's a social game. Back to social games, right?
Yep.
And when that all goes together, yeah, you can get some crazy ideas. So someone else was asking about game ideas earlier. Yeah, join in Club Iris. Jimmy has a point. I never thought of that before. Never thought of that.
Club Iris. Be careful with who you invite to your hotel room, though.
All right.
I bought that.
Stay safe.
It's the biggest waste of money ever. Don't buy anything in that game. It's horrible. But yeah, you can do anything you want there except for OD, of course. We got
that.
You got the moderators. In fact, we have been working on our own club game. We haven't gotten close to releasing it yet, though. It's for Rebecca.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. So, yeah, we kind of have like this... to explain what Jimmy's talking about here. Basically, Jimmy Games, you might notice that, yes, we have some of the oddest games on Roblox. But it's worked. It has over 20 million visits. And something that made it really stand out is the Jimmy character. Obviously, Jimmy is a person, but he's also a character. He plays this up in the group. And we also have other people, other characters connected to this group. We have Benny, his evil brother, who goes up against him, tries to copy his games. Benny's annoying. Then we got Harold, his uncle, right? So we kind of created this community that's based on characters. You'll notice a lot of developers on Roblox. They'll go and they'll make a studio. New game studio, right? Something like that. The thing about that is people do not connect to brands. You watch any YouTuber, Mr. Beast, heck, Logan Paul, I don't know, anyone. You see how they're selling products now. These products are doing well because they're influencers. People connect to influencers, not brands. I talk about this in Scripting Secrets. So the reason why Jimmy Games worked largely and why it keeps such a strong community that comments on the group wall almost every day consistently. You'll see people, years even, they'll be talking on the same group wall. You can see some of the same people talking on there for years. The reason why we have that tight-knit community is because Jimmy, the character, it is not a brand, it is a person. It's something unique that you don't really see. And people talk about, I know this is another point, people talk about missing old Roblox. If you're missing old Roblox, the best way to bring that back is to have your own community, have your own group that brings back that kind of spirit of old Roblox. Because old Roblox, the only reason why it was what it was because it had that small community. You could jump into a game, maybe see the same person later on a different day. I think I heard that before. And if you want to bring back old Roblox, make your own community, So.
Yeah, your community is your biggest supporter. I realized that after talking to many people on my group, questionable, weird, and cool people. They're cool.
Questionable. What do you mean by questionable?
Questionable. In fact, I think he's in our game right now.
Okay, let's not talk about it.
I know I'm not going to talk about him, but he's very questionable. But yeah, another thing that I've noticed is you have to play other games in order to know what you want to make next. Like, I played Phantom Forces. That's where I get most of my gun ideas, actually.
Hmm.
I play and I realize the mechanics are heavily based off of Phantom Forces. Not like first person shooting. We don't have that, but the aiming,
The gun ideas,
shooting,
the
the
sprints.
gun ideas, the sprinting. Well, we haven't added sprinting quite yet.
We kind of do.
Yeah.
But so what you're saying is, yeah, I would agree because Phantom Forces was kind of one of the it is kind of the largest shooter on one of the largest shooters on Roblox. It has been for a long time. I remember seeing it on the front page when I was starting in like 2015. Literally, that's my friends at school back then when I was younger. That's how they told me to get into Roblox. They're always talking about Phantom Forces and stuff like that. And to this day, it's still successful. So yeah, it is a good thing for our inspiration. But yeah, Paul S said, I checked out Jimmy Games. I scroll down and I see the Rockland. Yeah, that's what you're going to get in Jimmy Games. We were just talking about that, though. So we were basing it off trends. That's what made it work so well, largely. That was one of the...
Trends with uniqueness.
Yeah. But, Nothsa said, Smarty, what is the highest return task as a Roblox developer besides the obvious stuff like Just Script Bro? Well, I talk about this a lot, and I do go much more in depth than Just Script Bro. However... the highest return task, in my opinion, is funding games and doing game design. That's what I'm doing right now mostly. So that's why I'm talking about business so much as well on the channel. When you're scripting, what are you doing? You're doing implementation. You're implementing things directly on the ground in the game. When you are sitting there game designing, you are designing the overall plan of the game. You are creating what mechanics are going to go into the game. You're figuring out the monetization. You're figuring out the economy systems. You're figuring out these high-level concepts. That is according to Myron Golden, who's a business YouTuber, that is the highest level of value to be thinking on to be working on the imagination level of things. So it goes in. I think his 4 levels of value is implementation, unification, communication, and then imagination. Those are the 4 levels of value. So the higher you are up on that, the more money you're going to make. He talks about this in terms of business, right? But this absolutely goes into Roblox. So if you can get yourself up to that 4th level of value, which is imagination, creating ideas, that's the game design side of things. That's even the funding side of things, even the project management side of things. You're on a higher level of value. Therefore, you're going to be able to make more. You're going to be able to do better. You're going to be able to have higher leverage. You're going to get more out from what you put into your game, from the effort you put into Roblox. And this goes across everything in life. But yeah, so what I'm saying is Just Script Bro is, yeah, you're right. That isn't the truth of how you do the best on Roblox. The truth is game design and funding. That's why I talk about starting simple and then making Robux from those simple games and then funding larger projects later. That's what I'm doing right now. We have Jimmy Games. We've been talking about that this whole time, how we had random games, how we had these unique ideas. We made a bunch of Robux off of them, and now we're using that to fund a whole bunch of new stuff. We're funding ABR, which we talked about on the last stream, and it all works together. So when you start simple and you go up the ranks and you try to get to that level of just being in game design and funding mainly, like where I'm at now you're at the point where you have more leverage and you're able to make more. So I hope that clears up what I think is the best way to earn the highest return task on Roblox. Absolutely is game design, funding games, project management. If you can get to that level, you're going to be doing the best. And I think you're going to see when some of our projects start releasing, ABR, very unique projects, so it's taken a while, but you're going to see that they're going to do very well. So Lil Jimmy said, listen to Smarty guys in the chat. I agree. I agree. Listen. So again, highest level of value. If you want to watch a video on that, just look up Myron Golden levels of value. He kind of talks about it. It's an interesting take, and it's very true in business and in Roblox in general. And if you have a business, I also talk about this in a recent video. If you have a business mindset, you can really do a lot better on Roblox or in anything really. So Dark Lord Hedgehog said, "I am making a game. I kind of would like feedback on it. It's like you would have to play the game to see it, which I doubt you would do if only I could send an image." Yeah, I'm not really able to play games at the moment. Might do a stream in the future where I review your guys' games. That's actually a really good idea.
In fact, I've been planning on doing reviews.
Oh
Jimmy Reviews. I'm going to be reviewing games related to Sussy Imposter Land and Poop Land.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's gonna be crazy.
I'm gonna be reviewing your. In fact, all you gotta do is probably just send them to me and I'll play them. I don't have too much to do. All I'm doing is making music and just playing. Pretty much. Like I said, I went on a hiatus for a while. I didn't really do much, and that's probably why I'm not very successful right now. But, I'll be reviewing your terrain, your meme, your overall meme.
You should open up more general though, because I think a lot of people have unique ideas. They might not that many people are doing the land games that we've done. I know a few people have done that and kind of copied our original idea there in Jimmy Games. But I think what you should do, you should open it up to more people like reviewing their games.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying like
in general,
games related to it, games like it, but not fully like it. Like games that are, you
could review simulators even.
Yeah.
You should review this dude's game. Yeah, so
I probably will.
Jimmy's going to be starting his channel. I'll probably help him out a bit as well. Help him grow. So you can subscribe below. He's probably going to change the name of his channel, but I did link that below in the description. And yeah, so we're going to be doing a lot of things, and one of those things is him reviewing games. So yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Got a comment.
Creeper the Man said, "Smarty, you said I need commissions, but I don't know anyone, so do you have any more ideas how I promote my game with no money? It's a please donate type game." So, well, watch my latest videos on networking and also the one on commissions. These are really going to help you learn how to get commissions. And you can join Smarty Devs below in the description. You can start to network with developers. There's over 11,000 people in there. Actually, maybe even 12,000 now. And if you join Smarty Devs, you're going to be able to find people to work with. And you can also get commissions in there just by posting your portfolio, your work. And it's great. But other ways to get money for your game. Well, that's difficult to say because I think commissions are definitely like the best, especially if you have a development skill. Let me go back to your question here so I can read it again. To promote your game with no money though, absolutely TikTok I think is going to be your best bet. You know, if you watch my video on some ways to promote your game, I went over the example that was Tsunami Game. Tsunami Game was huge. Tsunami Game got thousands of players just from TikTok. They got millions and millions of views because they started a TikTok trend. And you might not have to start a trend. You might not even have to get millions and millions of views in order to grow your game and get visits. Just try TikTok. Try posting unique videos. And if you go back to that, I show you a Vector 3 thread. Vector 3 is like a company that talks about like growing Roblox games. I think they also take pay to grow your game on TikTok. So pretty cool stuff. But if you go to that video on how to promote your game without Robux, I think it was on without Robux, but how to promote your game for free. I think that's what the video is called. But if you go to that, you're going to see that strategy that Vector 3 laid out, and they very well mapped out how they grew their game, how Tsunami Game grew. Really good stuff there. So if you copy their formula, that might be a really good way to do it for free. Will YouTube Shorts work? Creeper the Man said. Well, I think YouTube Shorts could work, but I don't think they're as good as TikTok because TikTok can blow up a lot easier, especially if you're new. Usually YouTube Shorts, if you aren't like in the top tier YouTube Shorts with the most average view duration, someone's jumping back here. I see you. But yeah, if you aren't in the top shorts with the most average view duration, you in general aren't really going to go past like 1,000 views. So you might be able to get some visits. But I've also found that people on YouTube Shorts just aren't as interactive as TikTok. So, yeah. But yeah, going with the platform you use is also a good point. I would say that as well. But I think TikTok's the best for this. Nothsa said, right now I'm paying random commissioners off hidden devs like $10 to $20 to do intermediate scripting stuff. Do you have any advice with how I should approach that? Because some people take a little too long. That's a really good point to bring up. Really good issue, because I know that a lot of the time when you hire people for commissions, they can flake on you, they can not finish, they can even scam you. And when you're working with people, I think the first thing that really helped me was being really positive and making sure I give encouragement to people. So this goes for my editors that I work with too. Encouraging people that you hire for commissions. That really helps. If you can always be a positive person, and I'm not talking cheesy positivity. I'm talking just like, oh yeah, great work, I would say that's great. I would just change this, blah, blah, blah. Rather than just saying, I don't like this, change this, take this out. People really don't like being treated like robot. And I'm not saying that you're doing that, but a lot of people will do that at first. And it's a fair mistake if you haven't hired people for commissions before. But yeah, so I've done a lot of commissions for editing especially, and also on ABR. We've been doing a lot of commissions, and I found that positivity really helps. Also being organized. So Myro talks about this in Scripting Secrets, because he has really helped like a lot of people get millions of visits with his ideas, and he's also opening up some sort of service to help people organize his games. Like, that's how good he is at organizing games, giving ideas, planning things out, helping people get things going. That's what he's been doing with me on ABR. And something that I learned from him, I already kind of knew this, but something I learned from him is being more organized. Using Trello and being the most organized that you possibly can in your project is really going to help you, because when you are working with developers, if you don't have all your stuff organized, if you don't have everything planned out, it's really not going to work, because the leader out of all people should be working the hardest and should be the most organized, should be the most positive. Everything you basically need to be the best at as the leader, or at least appear that way to everybody else on the team. And I found that, yeah, if you stay organized, you be positive, energize people, you say what needs to be said, you can do a lot better. But yeah, it is difficult. It is dealing with people in general, talking with people. It can be kind of random sometimes. You gotta go with the flow a little bit, and the more that you commission people, the more you're gonna be able to work with them. One other point that just came in my mind is you might be able to build a better working relationship with them if you call the people that you're commissioning. Because when you're just talking, when you're just typing letters back and forth on Discord, it isn't that human, So if you talk to them on a call and you actually discuss the commission, discuss the game, discuss what you're working on a call, you're going to be able to build that actual human connection rather than just typing on a screen. And anytime I've called a developer who I'm working with, like Myro, anytime I call, like before I called him, it wasn't as good. We didn't work together as well. But now we're able to discuss more, get our ideas out. We actually work together, and I'm sure we trust each other really well. And all that works out great because we've talked on a voice call. So that's another point. So being positive, staying organized, energizing everybody, but also having that real talk on a voice call can help you have people finish the commission that you hire them for, because you're actually building that relationship, not just being over text, which isn't very human. It doesn't feel like they should finish that for you. When you actually talk with your voice, it's a step above that, and you're actually making it so that they feel more like they want to get it done, more like you're a real person. Jimmy, you're jumping all over the place, but yeah. So that's the best advice I can give you on having people finish the commissions that you hire them for. Very, very, very good question, because I've actually thought about that a lot. And I've actually thought about making a video on how to hire people for commissions, because I have done a lot on doing commissions yourself and being hired for commissions, but I haven't talked much about how do you hire people for commissions.
Jimmy's got to take a lunch break.
You got to take a lunch break?
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, so, oh yeah, guys, 20 people watching now. We have a lot of questions that we've been answering so far. We have a lot of stuff going. I know it's been a little bit fun with Jimmy. It's a interesting stream, to say the least. I'm really liking it. So yeah, like the stream if you're enjoying it. Go ahead and share it as well. That'd be amazing. And yeah, we're going to keep going, keep answering your questions, and it's going to be great. So, what is next? Anime Men said, "Hi, I'm new. Hello, welcome to the stream." Yun Iski said, "What's up, Smarty? What's up? How's it going? Happy holidays, by the way." Um, who else is? Nunth said, "Yeah, I just realized that it's a no-brainer to have 1 to 3 people you commission to do small, annoying tasks that would take you longer if you hired them than if you hired them." Yeah, I would agree. That's what I do for editing, right? It goes back. I talk about this a lot, which is leverage. I learned this largely from Alex Hormozy. He's a good YouTuber for business. The reason why I keep referencing these business YouTubers in the stream, by the way, is because my upcoming video is actually about this, having a business mindset. Referencing these business YouTubers like I've been doing, I've seen all the connections and how this goes into Roblox. And I do have a video on this, on a few business principles that'll really help you in development. You can check that out. But yeah, it goes back to leverage. So what you're talking about right there is leverage. What is leverage? Well, leverage is putting in a little bit and getting a lot out. It's a multiplier on your investment, whether that's time, whether that's Robux, whether that's money in a business, whatever it is, putting in the least amount to get the most amount out. That is what leverage is. And as you begin to work with more people, as you begin to commission people, as you begin to outsource more of your tasks, what you're doing is you're actually raising the leverage you have. So every time I wake up, I message an editor and say I have a video ready. Now, rather than having to sit there for 5 hours editing the video, I just say, hey, can you edit this? I'm going to pay you and it's going to be great. And now I've freed up my time. I have higher leverage. Now I record the video and I don't have to spend as much time, but I spend that money to get that higher leverage. So yeah, very good point. Leverage is insane. People really underestimate it in Roblox, and yeah, it's really good. I'm actually gonna post this in the chat because this video was very, very key to very key to some concepts in business that I've learned. Helped me when I'm running my site, scripting secrets, and even making the new games with Myro. I'm applying leverage all the time. So this video right here really gonna help you. I just sent it in chat. It is about 3 business secrets that can make you a Robux millionaire. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. What were the 3 points? I know that one of them was leverage, the other one was speed, and the other one was mindset and skill set. So I talked a lot about Alex Hormozy in that video and some of his mindsets and stuff, because those business mindsets apply so well to Roblox and really everything in life. So I've really found that these business mindsets, business principles, really help. So yeah, go check that video out if you have the time, maybe after the stream or in a new tab or whatever. It's going to really help you. But yeah, it goes back to that leverage. So let's see what else we got. So 80-20 rule. Yeah, absolutely. It's the 80-20 rule. So 80-20 rule, 20% of the work, or what is it? It's it was based on like workers in like companies. So 20% of the workers are doing 80% of the work, right? Or getting 80% of the results. This applies. They found that this principle, the 80-20 rule, applies to everything. This is leverage. So 20% of your tasks that you do in your game get you the furthest. 20% of the tasks I do when I'm doing YouTube videos get me the most views. 20% of the videos on my channel have gotten the most views. So the 80-20 rule, yeah, it does apply to everything. It's really key, and it goes back to leverage, what I've been talking about right here, what I talked about in that video. So yeah, really good point. 80% of rewards come from 20% of the work. 1,000%. And that's why you got to maximize leverage. So yeah, if you watch that video, insane. I think nothing else is going to make you more Robux than leverage. So I'm not even joking. That video is insanely underrated because those are the actual things that will make you Robux. So check that out in the chat. How do I do a horror game in Roblox Studio? Well, I think I talked about this in a video I recorded recently. It's not out, but I talked about this time when we made this game called The Hinge. Volt Gaming Studios is an old group I was involved in. We also made Camping Simulator and all these things that never really got quite far enough. I learned a lot of lessons from this group, and I talked about that in why most Roblox devs quit. And we did make a horror game. It's called The Hinge. The Hinge was kind of like this game. It was like a classic jump scare game, right? And um, it wasn't like the greatest, but it was good. So I worked with this one dude. He was really cool. He was good at like making like UI, camera systems. He scripted the animations on the hinge, which was like this creature that roamed around the map. It was really cool, and I think that when you're making a horror game in Roblox Studio, I think that what I learned from that one experience of making like a horror game is try to make it fast paced. I think the problem with that game was we didn't really have rounds. This was a few years ago. We didn't really have rounds. We didn't really have the greatest gameplay timing or anything, timers. We didn't have any kind of good systems in the game, and that really held it back. So that's my advice. I can't really tell you how to make a whole horror game here, but it's just like any game. You can see some of my other videos, such as don't make a Roblox game before watching this first. That'll really help you in planning out any type of game. But yeah, so why so few on live stream? I'm not sure. You said big fan. Yeah, thank you, iPad Cat. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. If you share it, we can definitely grow the stream. I believe that. So, why do games like Work at a Pizza Place have no competitors? Like, why doesn't someone make a Work at a Taco Shop or something? You know, that's an insane question. I think you just gave somebody watching the stream right now an idea. I think we're going to see that on the front page in like a few months all of a sudden. And then they'll be saying, I watched Smarty's stream, and I got that idea from Nansa. Thanks for all the money and the Robux. Yeah, but yeah, on a serious note, yeah, I don't have any idea why people haven't copied that. That's a really good point. Because Work at a Pizza Place, that's iconic. We kind of wanted to kind of base a game off that, which was like, it's called Herald's Press. Kind of like a newspaper company. We haven't finished that yet, but it was an interesting idea. We wanted to make it kind of like Work at a Pizza Place. That was another project I've been funding. We kind of hit pause on that project, but yeah, I don't know why more people haven't really replicated that game. It is a really good one to look at. I think a lot of roleplay games got inspiration from it, kind of like Brookhaven and kind of like especially Bloxburg. I think they got probably some inspiration from Work at a Pizza Place with the jobs and whatnot. So, what's next? Keep liking the stream. Keep commenting. We're gonna be answering questions for a while. I think Jimmy's gonna be back soon. He said he was on a lunch break, so yeah. I guess we'll see him soon, hopefully. But let's see. I'm scrolling through the chat. How do you get people to enjoy and stay in the game? So, to enjoy your game and stay in your game, you should focus on improving the playtime. So if you look at your stats, your developer stats on Roblox, you can see the average amount of time that people stay in your game. And what you want to do is you want to play your game and see, where does this get boring? Why are people leaving at 2 minutes and 47 seconds, for example? Why are people leaving at this time? Where's the gameplay falling off? And you're going to find times where you're like, oh, I could add something that happens right here. I could make the round have a certain event where bombs start dropping out of the sky on the round, right? Kind of like Super Bomb Survival, for example. Just add something that happens at that time. Add in rewards for people staying in the game longer. When you start to look at that playtime, find out where people are dropping off, you're going to find that people can really stay in your game longer. That's the key, like playtime, and then optimizing those specific points where people are dropping off. That's what we found in Jimmy games. We added rewards, we added progression in the game. When people have goals to work towards, that really helps as well. We found that the playtime really increased when we added guns that you could upgrade to. Let's see. How can investors help grow games? Are they a good way to grow games, and should they be trusted? Z Electricity said. Investors, I haven't really worked with investors much. I know that investors can be good. You want to make sure you're working with somebody trustworthy, somebody who has some experience under their belt, and obviously has a good amount of Robux to invest in your game. But yeah, I would really say be careful. Just don't give away too much percentage in your game. I can't say much because I haven't really done much like with investors. I've earned Robux on my own, so I haven't really needed investors or anything like that. But yeah, just be careful. Make sure you're working with somebody good. And if you are above the legal age in your country, do a contract that can really help. And yeah, so that's what I would say best about investors. So Stinky Pinky said whitelist me. Okay, sure, why not? Why not? You made the system. Shout out to Stinky Pinky. He scripted this whitelist system in the game. Pretty cool, pretty nice. Really helps. Let's see here. Thank you guys for 41 likes. If you can get it to 50, that'd be insane. Let's hit 50 likes. And yeah, let's keep going. Let's see. Somebody commented, RowBuilder said that it's pretty hard to commission people because they scam. Yeah, absolutely. But I think those points I gave to that other dude earlier will really help, which is being a positive force, always motivating people, always, not in a cringe way, just being a good, positive person is really going to help with people and prevent them from scamming you. People don't want to work like robots. I know it sounds obvious, but like you really got to interact with them like a real human being. You got to recognize, they got to feel motivated. So you got to encourage them as you hire people for your game. You got to encourage them as they go. Pay is not enough to motivate people all the time. That's why you can pay somebody up front and then they don't do any of the work. I've had that happen to me. They just run off right after I paid them to do a whole video or to do a whole commission on a game, and they just run off, they disappear, they ghost me. And, well, you got to be the motivating person. And of course you can't always prevent that just by being positive and motivating, but adding on to that human connection, adding on to that human relationship, and making it not just robot, text, Discord, boom, 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 right? Not just going back and forth on Discord, calling them, actually talking to them, having a conversation, voice to voice, miking up, talking about the project, talking about what you're working on, whatever it is that you're commissioning for, and actually just talking it out. And you're going to find that when you do that, it becomes a lot easier to work together. It becomes a lot easier to actually have a bond and actually stay together as a team and actually work together, because now you feel like you know them a little better. If you just text somebody, you don't really know them. You might not even though you know they're a real person on the other side, you don't really know. You don't really know because, well, I haven't talked to you. I haven't talked to you at all. I don't know who you are, even if you've talked for years just by text. So really calling, if you're comfortable, I'd recommend doing that with people you commission, or even if you're getting commissioned by somebody, calling can really help strengthen that bond. What is next? So how can I motivate myself to finish my game? I got a lot of stuff coming for you. It's going to really help you. The new video is coming out, so stay tuned for that. I do have a video on motivation, but my takes have kind of changed. I have a video on mindset. I would recommend watching that. That'll really help you with motivation. Highly recommend that video. It's very good. You need lots of money to be popular, MifClick said. Not exactly the case. If you can post on TikTok and you can blow up, if you have that content strategy down, like what Vector 3 is telling us all to do, I talked about it in that one video about how to grow your game without ads. I went down their example that they laid out on Twitter. Very good example. You should check that video out if you want to grow for free. You can grow for free. You don't need lots of money. You don't need it. We didn't start out with much money in Jimmy Games. Of course, the game has changed a little bit. Things have changed, but we started out with like 1,000 Robux to sponsor. And what now? We've made millions of Robux off the games, which is insane. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to show you that you really don't need anything much to start. You just need to have that unwillingness to quit and having that creativity, having those ideas on the fly. Okay, let's try and make this TikTok. Let's go sponsor. Let's make this new ad. Let's add this update. If you're thinking like that, how are you going to fail if you don't stop? The reason why most developers don't succeed is, well, they make something too complex. I talked about that recently, but also they don't. What was I gonna say? They don't. Shoot, I lost my train of thought. But they don't. Oh yeah, they don't. They stop. So they quit and they don't keep updating their game. They don't keep improving their game. If you improve your game 1% every day, how are you gonna fail? This is how we worked in Jimmy Games. We just kept doing little changes. We improved one thing on the map this day. Small little changes. And here we are. Group has 20 million visits. Let's see here. Tux said, is your 3-hour guide still coming out? Yeah, I'm working with the editor right now. I think it's coming along good. The guide, I would say, is about 60% done. I wish I got it out way faster, but, you know, is what it is. So, yeah, but it's coming along well. It will come out. It will come out. I can assure you that. But, yeah, stay tuned for that. But I'm going to be releasing a ton of other videos that you're really going to like. So, stay tuned for those as well. Nantha said, Smarty, how do you initiate a call with a commissioner? Because I feel like it's a very transactional interaction and the commissioner seems busy. Maybe show an example how you would do it. Well, use an excuse. That can be a good one. If there's an excuse, like maybe there's a particularly complex detail in your commission, like maybe the map design or something that you want to get just right, you can tell them, hey, you know, the map design, I really want to make sure that it's just right. Do you want to call sometime soon when it works for you? My time zone is blah, blah, blah. Let's talk on a call if you're comfortable about this detail. Something like that. If you can say that to them, it really, really will work because you have that reason, which is, well, the complex detail. Then you get your foot in the door to talk to them more about the different aspects of your game and the different aspects of the commission as you go on, and it opens the door to more calls later. So, yeah, having that one excuse really helps. Yep. Yeah, never thought of that. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. No problem. Members get a good sneak peek. Absolutely good point, Stinky Pinky. If you do join the channel, you can actually see a sneak peek of the 3-hour guide. It's a really good guide to Blender. Like, it's an entire guide to Blender out of that guide. So, it's the 3-hour guide to development. Pretty much everything I know about development, or most of the things, right? And it's going to be insane, but if you want to see something now, you can absolutely join the channel. It's $2 and you can join. But yeah, Platio said, what is this? Well, this is a stream. We've been talking about the success of Jimmy Games, which is the group that we've had 20 million visits on the games. We had some of the most random ideas ever. We grew it, we made Robux, and now we're funding some insane projects that are coming out soon, such as the one we discussed on the last stream, and it's opened up a lot of opportunities. So we're sharing our strategies, our insights, how you get unique ideas, how do you grow your game, how do you learn from us, how do you learn from business, how do you learn from anything, any aspect of life and apply it to development to grow. How do we get those unique ideas? That's what we're talking about. And I'm answering questions. Yeah, so it's a great stream. Go ahead and like it up if you're enjoying it. And yeah, let's keep going. So, is Developer Hub a good way to get visits? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. Could you be more specific? Plateau said that isn't necessarily successful. Well, it really depends. That is around 26,000 USD. That is pretty successful, I would say, especially if you are looking to fund more projects, looking to grow something from there. So I would say that is pretty successful. I would say that is very good. And there's a lot you can learn from it. And you can always build from it. Somebody in chat said that they gained 76 million visits. I'm going to be talking to them soon about how they did that. Maybe even get them on a podcast. Who knows? I want to talk to people's success stories in the community. But yeah, so it is significant because you can always grow from there. Stinky Pinky said, I just realized my collision group is nil. Not sure what you mean. Did you see a CMO developing during